So, this is kind of my third Fringe show. I've done 3 Fringe shows now. The first Fringe show was in 2005. That was all about physics. So think yourself lucky you weren't here that night, madam, eh? Can you imagine how horrible that, right? Okay, it was all about physics, right? Now, what's your name, madam? Moira. Nice to meet you, Moira. Do you know about physics? You don't know about physics. Do you know about physics, son? A little bit. If you really want to understand physics, you need to go back and start with the ancient Greeks. Get into the ancient Greeks. Which is why I shagged that granny in Ayia Napa. It was purely in the interest of scientific research, you see? Because the Greeks built the foundations and the principles of physics 3,000 years ago. In 543 BC, Pythagoras, talking about right-angled triangles, said that the square of the length of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the square on the other 2 sides. In exactly the same year, Herodotus of Thebes said that Pythagoras, right boring bastard, didn't he? Always banging on about right-angled triangles. How come equilateral triangles get such a bad press? You know what I'm talking about, darling, don't you? You do. You've spent your whole life waiting for Mr. Right Angle. A good man, a strong man, a man with a huge hypotenuse. But you end up with a bloke who comes home from the pub completely isosceles. It doesn't seem fair, does it? Then some of you are saying, Bruce, that's not physics, that's maths. I beg to differ. Because the word physics comes from the Greek word physios, which means the study of the development of everything. So really maths is just a subset of physics. Chemistry is just a subset of physics. Biology is just a subset of physics. Media studies is a college course for wankers. Obviously that's not a subset of physics, but pretty much everything else is. Now the Greeks had some fantastic theories. They didn't call it physics, they called it natural philosophy. It was their belief that if you thought about the physical world the right way and hard enough, then before you knew it, lights would go off above you, there'd be fireworks, the rockets would go off above your head, and from deep within you would come a wellspring of knowledge and deep, deep joy. Now I've suffered from premature ejaculation myself. In fact, if I remember rightly, it was in Ayia Napa, but it didn't help my grasp of physics, you see? But the Greeks have some fantastic theories, some theories not nearly so good. I'll give you an example. The Greeks believed that the universe was made up of just 4 elements: earth, wind, fire, and water. Nowadays, we know it's a ridiculous theory, and a shit name for a soul band, incidentally. But they based their laws of motion on this. Why is it that a stone falls to the earth? The Greeks believed a stone is earth-like. It belongs in the earth, so it moves to the earth. A fire is star-like. It belongs in the heavens, so it moves to the heavens. A jakey is smelly. He belongs in a shit heap, so he moves to Dundee. There's a natural order to everything. You can do that gag in Perth, you see. Fantastic reviews from a show all about physics. Chortle, the comedy website, said an outstanding stand-up brain. They said, you're thinking, how did we not get that one tonight? But that's what they said. An outstanding stand-up brain, they said. Thumpingly well delivered, they said. The BBC science team should hire this man. They said, I felt 10 feet tall. It was the first time in my comedy career I'd been the correct weight for my height. It was fantastic. I was going to have a future in comedy in a pair of trousers that fitted me. And then the last sentence said, the only question is, can he repeat this with a different subject? The dirty bastards. They'd had me walking with the comedy giants. Suddenly, I was back to being a wee fat bastard again, just like that, within the twinkling of an eye. So I made 2 New Year's resolutions. The first was to do a show every bit as good as the year before, and the second was to get into Highland dress without wearing a corset. So I did a show all about Tam O'Shanter, the famous Robert Burns poem. I did my research. Went down to Ayrshire, Burns Country, spent a day in Mauchline, where Robert Burns grew to maturity. Walked the same streets Robert Burns walked. Spent time in the house Robert Burns shared with Jean Armour. I even had a meal in the same tandoori restaurant Burns frequented when he lived in Mauchline. Now call me a cynic, But I think they're milking that Burns thing just a little bit much down there in Mauchline. I'm not convinced of their genuine love of the Bard when their biggest selling meal was the tandoori Burns my arse. I'm not at all convinced. But a fantastic success with the Burns show. In fact, I'm still getting the benefit of that. And I want a big cheer for this, ladies and gentlemen. I found out this week I'm going to be on national television, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. On You Are What You Eat. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be fantastic. So this year, I did a show all about the Jacobites. Can I do a little straw poll? Can you stick your hand up? The Scots in the audience. Can you stick your hand up, the Scots in the audience? Oh, there's quite... Oh, you're going to love this. You're going to be psyched up. By the time this show finishes, you want to go out in that street and stab people. It's going to be great. Another wee straw poll. Who are the English people in the audience? These are the people you're going to want to stab. It's good that you've identified yourself early on in the show.